right, happy Saturday, folks. Welcome to GG Speedruns for another fantastic, a triple header edition of Saturday matches for you. I am Tapatio J. Very pleased to be joining you today in the commentary booth, and I am joined by one of our fantastic competitors in the tournament. Our number 5 seed, Aquas, is joining me. Aquas, how you doing, bud? I'm not sure if Aquas is coming through right now, but we got a great matchup, trio coming up for you of matches. We got SpaceColonizer, and Starwind to set us off beginning of the day. SpaceCo, our number 14 seed in the tournament. Starwind, our number 24. We got a nice PB as far as what SpaceCo has, a 541. Starwind with a 759 on the board, but the thing with Starwind is you're always looking, hopefully, to get that tournament PB. I think Starwind has a great chance here today, so excited to see that.
Yeah, I might not have pushed my push to talk button back there, but I am here.
And there we are. We're joined by Aquas, who will be competing in our second matchup today. Aquas, how you doing? How you feeling about the matches today? How you feel about your gameplay so far? This is a rare opportunity. We get to interview somebody before a tourney match.
Yeah, just figured I'd just come on and talk some Smash before I play some Smash, and yeah, I'm feeling fine, and looking forward to see how this match plays out.
Yes, well, will be very interesting. I feel just from the perspective to see how they go into the next round. I think on paper, just being honest, SpaceCo should be the one to be able to take this matchup. They do have a 541 PB, nothing to sneeze at there. Had a great set with Telio earlier in the tournament. Unfortunately, going down 3-1 in that. Starwind having a set with Prince Leaf earlier in this tourney, going down 3-0. But yeah, that's the thing. As I mentioned with Starwind, it will be great to see if he can come out, maybe improve that PB time, get a little further down the leaderboard there, as we so say. So it looks like we've had a little bit of delay. We had one of our runners just had to take a quick break, but I'll get them lined up as soon as possible here, and we'll get our first match underway.
That's right. Once again, we do have a triple header for the matches today. I'm going to be up against myself, Akos against Tetsuo after this. And then at the end, who is it again here?
We got Sigma Fan and Jackamus are 10 and 13 seeds going head to head, so that should be a great matchup. And then, yeah, the second matchup coming up, you versus Tetsuo, a classic. This one should be a lot of fun for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so I've got our two players counted down here. It should be starting shortly. Again, what we have here is a matchup here in the lower bracket, round 1. So winner of this will go on to face the winner of Hefe Man and ET Go Ham. Another fantastic matchup right there. Unfortunately, our loser of this matchup, that'll be the end of their tournament right there. So fight and stay alive here as best you can. Otherwise, you're going home, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like we got SpaceColonizer going for the orbit manipulation, and Starwind just playing it out regular here. Also doing manipulation, but just the Razor.
Yeah, interesting right there. Yeah, the SpaceCo. Again, it's such a thing that now you have to look for every match pretty much is when someone's going for the orbit manipulation and being really able to kind of ID when they get it, when they don't, and there's plenty of maybes. There's a lot of gray area that I've been kind of finding out as far as like, they might have had it.
Yeah,
Doesn't look like it for SpaceCo, unfortunately. Yeah.
Apparently, yeah, I think he grabbed one of the items before that room ended and wasn't able to get it. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, very interesting as far as, yeah, you just simply pick up a little stack of money and that ruins it. Starwind had the orb right there. Unfortunately, takes an additional step right into the mine. That's a nice little advantage that Stars had right there. Unfortunately, loses it. Razor Shield on Space Coast side, and the spreader will do all right for Stars. But that's a nice little advantage you would have potentially had going through this match.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd call that a leafed it, but that was a power up by a mine, and the mine got him. So
Shrapnel from the left side, just cutting it off right there. Going to kind of extend this room out a little bit more. Stars taking down the foot soldiers. And then, but then Space Ghost side does take the death. Didn't have orb, I believe. So yeah, using that invulnerability well. Doing what you can with what you got right now. And an orb on Starwind side. Unfortunately, the swirl, and he won't be able to get it.
oh, another chance at an orb gone.
Oh, and that's a couple drops right there. Starwind just, you gotta know that those opportunities, being able to take advantage of them, that's the big difference right there. And that's the sort of thing that will definitely eventually lead to a PB when he gets those drops down, that timing down.
Just looking for anything to get this shrapnel room taken care of. Meanwhile, SpaceColonizer, there's still no orb on their end. And Starwind, yeah, still bleeding more time. He back there has multiple shrapnel on screen, not looking too good.
Yeah. Spaceco, a little razor shield, that kind of helps that sort of thing. But yeah, has gotten grenades, keys, hasn't got a whole lot on their side either. There's another razor shield, so that'll do for a little bit. Key on Starwind's sides, and Carnage is showing no love right now, just nothing on these drops.
Yeah, they're really not getting anything really. Some spreaders here and there at the corners of the room, just not where you want to see it. And just seeing some good orbless play here. Try to make use of the weapons as best as possible. But the rockets on Starwind's side not going to be able to be grabbed due to another death. And SpaceGo cleaning out the room now at a 338. Going into the bonus room.
Able to use that invulnerability a little bit, able to conserve a little bit of ammo, so has a couple bars of the spread. That helps a little bit, be able to clear some of the early foot soldiers there. But yeah, not too much, unfortunately. Starwind did end up picking it up an orb, getting a spreader, getting some rockets there too, so shouldn't be too much longer in this room. Might be able to avoid a swirl still. No, there it is. Never mind.
Ooh,
The orb loss.
The swirl just completely over the character there. Oof. And SpaceColonizer just tank madness, falling down, running around with grenades.
Yeah, grenades on the feet there. Not the greatest drop. It kind of helps take out the gunner sometimes, but that lack of range is pretty brutal in this room. Yeah, just sticking in the corner, just trying to survive, dodging the shrapnel, dodging the fire. It's a little crazy in Tank Trouble, kind of playing out in its typical chaotic ways.
Good spreader grab there. And get some breathing room. Just a dude though. Starwind starting it up finally with a foot on the bottom. Not going to be very useful there. Having to fight from these corners where it's kind of safe, but Starwind still goes down using a continue.
Yeah, we'll get that continue. We'll be able to get those rockets. So yeah, unfortunate does get a dude right there. So hopefully we won't see that continue screen again on Starwind's side. Rockets doing pretty well. Start of Mutoid for Space Coast side. Does get grenades, so a little bit of weapon. Not the greatest though. Dodging the fire very nicely right there into the lobber. So yeah, get some good damage. Hopefully take those gunners out soon.
Yep, so SpaceCo, working with the lobbers, trying to hit that brown spot underneath Mutoid's head for additional damage. And then Starwind, back tank trouble there. Running into some enemies and losing some orbs.
Yeah, the orb. I think yeah, spawned on the feet after the death, and then just yeah, unfortunately, you got the foot soldiers all over the place. So had to take care of those. Rockets will help. Pretty much should wind down this room right now, and it does. Should be up pretty soon here. Uh, Lobbers into rockets on Space Coast side. Finally gets that second arm pop. Hasn't been the greatest RNG on Space Coast side. With the foot right there, he will just take the death. See what he gets.
Yeah,
Key. Ooh.
yeah, I haven't seen a lot on Space Coast side in terms of Mutoid RNG, so perhaps this will open the window up for Starwind to get in here with his own chain of spreaders and invulnerabilities. But
Turn out the greatest. Yeah, key
see
into
about
grenades. Yeah, grenades does all right, but
some more grenades from Starwind, getting the gunners off. Space Coat, the ribcage exposed into another lobber. I think this is going to push him to the next form, assuming he lands most of these.
yeah, some decent fire right here from SpaceCo, not too shabby. Will go for those rockets, probably pretty good. Those lobbers were almost out, and then it changed to the lobbers. Beautiful.
Yeah, and Spaceco getting the weapons he needs to close up the fight, and Starwind's opportunity is pretty much almost completely gone. But you never know. Could get 6 empty drops into crazy spreaders, into something, but
SpaceCo getting the spreader that
oh,
Starwind needs right now, and another one that
yep.
Starwind needs. And those went on the other side, maybe a little something to be said. But SpaceCo finishing it off there. And yeah, it's going to be about a 7:45-ish.
Yeah, didn't get a whole lot going on there, but did what he needed to do to finish it out.
Starwind working
Starwind,
through it.
yeah.
Yeah, getting rockets, grenades, not the best of weapons. Grenades, if you kind of get to the right place, and maybe the invulnerability sometimes, it's not too shabby. But obviously, with all the wiggling that Mutoid Man does make it a not great weapon for trying to stay alive too. So
There we go. Now Starwind's got the ribcage uncovered. Grenades, yep, just trying to whittle them down.
grenades, getting some decent one. Won't get those rockets up in the upper left, and unfortunately, yeah, we'll take that run over. We'll take another continue. And yeah, gonna still, let's see the spreader work right here. It's a little high to start, but then yeah, get some decent damage. Going for a little bit of manual, some decent manual in there. All right, get the head pop.
Yeah, of course, you always know you get the spreader damage if the bullets don't actually appear. No fire balls that come from them, and yeah, definitely got a few hits there.
Yeah, rockets and the grenades with those shrapnel. Unfortunately, won't be able to get to that spreader in the corner. Continue doing some damage. And vulnerability won't do it either. So yeah, Mutoid Man, it's like, hey, you're gonna hang out for just a bit longer, at least one or two more weapon drops right here. Grenades into the lobbers for Starwind. Hopefully land some of these shots. These lobbers should do it if most of these shots land. Just catching right there.
Yeah, barely.
Just enough in the clip. One more foot soldier down. And there we go. Stars will get in at just under that 10-minute mark right now for race number one. Definitely, I would feel, with the orb drops, kind of knows that some time slipped away right there, and probably hopes to pick that up a little bit better for match number two.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely have to see Starwind clean it up a bit there for sure. SpaceColonizer, yeah, I mean, played a decent game, had some more drops and stuff, but there's still a pretty big difference between Starwind and SpaceCo. So yeah, we definitely need to see Starwind clean it up a bit here. Just focus on keeping that orb, and I think we could definitely see these the leads change a little bit.
Yeah, SpaceCo definitely kind of left the door open a bit during that race. I think definitely some things that SpaceCo will want to improve on going into this second match here, the second game of this match, I should say. Because yeah, it's the 7 minute times, mid 7 minutes, like that's really gonna be tough to get wins as you go further down the tournament here. So we got both these guys readied up. I'm gonna count them down, and we'll get away with game number 2 here shortly. Yeah, honestly, on Star's side, I think it's something to where you get some of those orbs if you're able to kind of hold the center. Obviously, honestly, it was pretty rough on some of the drops. We definitely saw lack of weapons for both our competitors right there. So
Yeah,
always tough when the game just doesn't give it to you. So we'll see. I think absolutely some potential for some minutes to be shaved off for this second game here for Starwind.
yeah, for sure. SpaceColonizer attempting the manip again. I do know what to look out for here. Let's see. I think he's dropped. I couldn't tell, but he might have something. Basically, just got to grab that nuke, like in the northwest, right at the end, and you're either gonna get like 2, 3, or 6 guys that come out.
Shots to the left. Okay, so yeah, I think the star of the room, yeah, it didn't look like it was the same. So unfortunately, yeah. Oh, early frame for dang. So unfortunately, it doesn't work out. It looked potentially good, but and then grenade. So yeah, now you're just getting kind of punished for not getting it. There's the orb for Space Go. All right, it eventually drops.
If it eventually drops, it's still manipulated.
That's right. That worked for multiple rooms too. You could have to wait till till Carnage to get that, but
Yeah,
it still was Manit. All manips are good manips, I guess. As we go
true.
through, I manipulated a terrible seed. As we go through, we got yeah, little bit of a shakeup, but yeah, SpaceCo handling it well. Razor Shield, that will do. Starwind getting into the room at 146. Let's see this early drops here. See if Starwind gets something on their side. Unfortunately, the vulnerability kind of helps, obviously, with Swirl. You could run into some shrapnel maybe, but yeah, that's unfortunately 4 shrapnel on the board for a bit. Those foot
Oh,
soldiers getting a little close.
yeah, that was almost Starwind dropping a rocket there, which he desperately needs. Well, was helping a lot to bring the shrapnel down, and now just got a spreader again, and SpaceCo holding onto the orb over there. But yeah, Starwind with those that threshold of shredders, Mr. Shrapnels rather, being reached of 4, and now it's just the 3 left over.
Yeah, and having the invulnerability explosion. Luckily, that other one doesn't explode right there. But yeah, a little time lost there as well on Starwind side, unfortunately.
Starwind still hoping for an orb drop or something here, so he can kind of stabilize here, but just getting just more feet and random crap. Razor.
Yeah, it's actually, the game is not being friendly at all with some of these drops. I mean, Razor will help for sure, but yeah, where's the rockets? Where's the orb, my game? Come on now.
There's a rocket in kind of a rough spot where he died earlier, but managed to get the rocket this time into the more razors, so good stuff. SpaceCo just waiting in the bonus room right now. Starwind's got to be probably like 15-20 seconds back, I'd say.
Yeah, it might even be a little bit more than that, just due to the the lack of quality on the drops. There's the rockets again, so Starwind get a little bit of something. Early orb right here. SpaceCo doesn't get much. Able to get a nice little invulnerability block right there, not take some damage from the gunners on the wall. Ooh, a little sketchy in
Nice.
the corner. He's staying alive though, keeping that orb healthy.
SpaceCode is doing what he needs to do to keep that orb alive, and definitely the good call because Starwind's not really getting anything on their end.
Yeah, just absolutely rough on the RNG here. Yeah, SpaceGo just kind of having to stick to the corner. Obviously, your kill count's going to go down, but then yeah, it's tough to get back to the center because eventually those foot soldiers they come out from a little fierce, and they did get that orb from SpaceGo. So unfortunate there, and there's the club. That purple shirt had a destiny. Oof.
Got him, got him. Starwind starting out tank trouble now, getting some rockets. And SpaceGo leaving tank trouble.
Oof. Oh man, these purple shirts really not liking the single fire rockets, clubbing out, clubbing down both of our competitors right here while they have that. Orb for Starwind, so actually having to stick to that corner strat himself. Grenades for SpaceCo right now turn into rockets, so getting some early damage, not getting the worst drops ever, SpaceCo here.
And yeah, Starwind rocking that corner with the orb. He's keeping it. He's holding on to it over here with some rockets and stuff. And maybe if he can just keep doing this, he'll have a small chance here to get in on this Mutoid fight.
Yeah, purple shirt just swooping in from the right there. Unfortunately, not able to get quite back to center. Right now, SpaceCo side, not getting a whole lot. Another empty drop.
Yeah, a lot of crappy
Some,
drops.
yeah, some rockets. But yeah, SpaceCo's got to be like, come on now. Let's get it moving. Let's get some damage here. Really getting in with the lobbers there is SpaceCo. The Razor, yeah, wouldn't do too much for Starwind. It's gonna wrap it up with that strap. They'll be able to get into the room at a 550 right now. Only 2 arms popped right now for SpaceCo side, so it's actually not too far away as far as the overall health of Mutoid Man's concerned. Having to chase around, yeah, Mutoid right now, and then Mutoid just backs right up. So yeah, just some rough luck in general for SpaceCo in this Mutoid fight.
Yeah, this has been fairly slow going here. Just not really just giving up those spreaders at all. And yeah, I mean, just Mutoid being Mutoid. Starwind getting one that he might be able to get to.
That's a
Oh,
tough grab. That was close though. Very a good attempt. When that far over to the right, that's a tough grab to time up. Almost happened for Starwind by horse. So yeah, it almost happened.
SpaceGo final form, and yeah, he actually was trying to get a little bit of transfer there. It might have. He's going at the neck weak point, at the end of the spreader. And SpaceGo has most of the damage done on final form Mutoid, and that's Mutoid down for SpaceGo. So game 2 goes to SpaceColonizer.
Getting through. It looks like yeah, 7:18 will be the time on SpaceCo side. Uh, it'll get it done obviously in this match. I definitely got to be feeling like this has been 2 back-to-back games with like nothing drops on this Mutoid fight. It's been pretty rough. So gotta imagine Space Coast like, all right, let's get one match where we at least have like a reasonable time Mutoid fight, not
Yeah, I know.
3 minutes here, whatever it is.
And Mutoid just doesn't give anything. It's pretty annoying. Just give me the one spreader.
Yeah, that's all you need really. You just need like one good spreader and maybe some
Yeah.
lobbers, and you're all good. It's the fight. Well, yeah, Starwind able to get a little bit of spreader, kind of a tricky situation. And now these lasers are, rapid fire right there. Star's able to dance around it, though. Does get the lobbers here, so hopefully get some damage. These lasers get very close. Starwind dancing with danger right there, and then eventually, yeah, it does zap. But some good, very close play right there from Starwind getting it done.
Yeah, there it was.
Head pop on Starwind's side. So yeah, we got the rocket salvo coming out. Grenades. Doesn't grab that one, unfortunately. Uh, Flirting with that last life again. And then yeah, unfortunately, having to move in with the grenades. that will take another death. That will be another continue right there for Starwind. But we'll get the rockets here.
I noticed that you and Sam did
The
anal
addition of the
very
lobbers,
early.
this
That's
should
right.
get us
Also,
to the final
sixth base,
form, starts landing these
junk,
shots.
but that's-
Fortunately,
I
the
think that
shoes
is
won't
far
help
more
out. We'll
intimate,
need a
right?
refill
Yeah,
on a
that's it.
weapon
Right.
here
Thank you.
after these lobbers.
No question. No, that's great.
I noticed that you and Sam did anal very early.
That's right.
Or
Also,
lockets,
sixth
they're there.
base, junk, but that's I think that that is far more intimate. Right. Yeah, we did. Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. No question. No, that's great.
I noticed that you
College admission scandal. You love it.
The funny thing about that
There
scandal
we go. Got him
is
pinned
that they got
down. There
their
goes
dumb
Mutoid
kids in
Man.
there, but then they were able to handle the
And we
curriculum
got it
with
at
no
about
problem.
a 9.
Like none of them
yeah,
flunked
45,
out. So I guess evidently the
46.
real difficulty
Yeah,
is
45.
getting
There we
in.
are.
Getting into those
Once you're
colleges.
in, you're fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So you went to Harvard, right?
Okay, well,
College admission scandal.
fairly
You love it.
similar
The funny thing
result to last game. Had SpaceCo winning by a pretty large margin. And
What did you say about the military? that got
not
people
a lot from
mad?
Mutoid drops
Flies the
on
fighter jet
either
and has
side.
missile
But SpaceCo keeps this up. He's gonna take this one in a sweep here. We're gonna get the guys set up here for the next game.
And here we go. This might be the last match here of Starwind's tournament. I'm hoping that we get some a little bit better RNG for our guy, and hopefully we flirt with the possibility of cracking off a PB in this last match here. It'll take a whole lot to be able to get a game against SpaceCo here, but you know, things could happen. RNG could shake out a certain way. Let's see how it goes for our two competitors here. SpaceCo again, go for the manip. It's looking all right. Hasn't dropped it yet. Ooh, but the 2 still living there at the bottom. Just not
Yeah,
quite. I don't think
think
that's
it-
gonna shake out.
No, that's not gonna work. I don't think.
Let's go see that first drop. It's still an orb, not quite the right place. A little bit of ways, but is able to get there. Trying to reestablish back to center. That grenade drop in the center does not help at all. Starwind getting Razor, so not too shabby as a first drop here. See, after these shoes.
Yeah, I would just grab the shoes if I were him, so he can get the next drop coming in faster. But he seems to be holding it down pretty nicely.
Yeah, always a tough measure in these races, you know, especially, you know, in some of these early rooms. You know, how much do you go out of your way from the center to, you know, grab not the greatest drop, that sort of thing. I think it is pretty valuable when you don't have the orb. You gotta be hunting for it a little bit, so yeah, I do agree with that sentiment. Early start here for SpaceCo. A little bit dicey, but handles it, and now the room's taken care of. Starwind, unfortunately, yeah, having to use the grenades, gonna have to deal with some more foot soldiers. So yeah, grenades again, rough drops here.
Yeah, I mean, grenades can help with the shrapnel a little bit, but he didn't even bother with them there, and more crappy drops with the dude. Not looking good, dude.
SpaceCo in total carnage. It is getting a little squirrely. Does use that that spreader will help quite a bit, but then the key empty drops. So yeah, SpaceCo just gonna have to hold center as best as possible with just the orb here. Want to keep that healthy. The shrapnel not helping. Orb on Starwind's side, so got that, and has the rocket. So hopefully we'll be able to reestablish center here. And the Razor, hey, the trifecta right there, the Holy Trinity. as Cars would say, for Starwind, at least for a short time.
Starwind has been blessed. Now let's see if they can do anything with this and have ourselves a closer game. As holding it down there at the orbs, SpaceCo ending their total carnage. 310.
Yeah, not bad at all as far as the entry. Yeah, just behind that 310 mark. Rockets for Starwind is shaking out, keeping that orb healthy. You know, the Razor help and some good damage weapon there. Shouldn't be too much longer into the room. I can't. Ooh, get a little close there, but keep it alive, that orb, and the shrapnel dodge does do it. All right, nicely done from Starwind. Unfortunately, the purple shirt catching it right there. Some good dodges on Starwind's side, I would say.
For sure, and then SpaceCo dancing around, but gets picked off by a shrapnel. Still both gunners.
Yeah, that's tough, exactly. Finally got one of the gunners down, but yeah, when you add the tank into that, you got bullets coming from everywhere, basically. A couple spreaders will help out SpaceCo to kind of try to eliminate it, but yeah, that upper right, I don't think too much damage that way yet. Now it's down. All right, nicely shot. First drop for Starwind. Unfortunately, some shoes on the far right side. That's not going to help at all. Invulnerability will help, actually. Just kind of aim down one of those gunners right there. Take out some foot soldiers. See, goes for the nuke. Doesn't get out there, unfortunately, for it. The death on SpaceCo's side. We'll get the Razor kind of finish that up, but unfortunate one there. We'll get into Mutoid Man at about a 438 on SpaceCo's side.
I'd buy that for $1.
Okay, and then Starwind cornered there. Now he's using the iframes for the get rid of the gunner. Good idea. SpaceCo opening up Mutoid with the lobber.
Get some decent damage. Trying to hit that brown spot as you had mentioned before, Aquas. Trying to get that good damage in. Sometimes I like to just try to get those lobbers to hit those gunners because it takes them down pretty quickly, but that's not an easy shot to have either. There's a spreader, not in the greatest of spots, greatest of timings from SpaceCo. Gonna try to work around this gunner. This gunner is tenacious trying to get him, and unfortunately the backup right there by Mutoid. Oh, and there's a nice one though on the death for SpaceCo. That's some good damage right there. And there's a glitchoid. Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Nice glitchoid, and into another spreader.
There's that RNG working finally out for SpaceCo's side. It's like that's the Mutoid RNG we needed that first couple games right there.
Yeah.
SpaceCo getting in with the lobbers, has it down to the penultimate form right now, and now into the final form. Ignores those rockets, probably a good idea, just continue to deal that damage, but unfortunately the key will not help out right there, an empty drop. Starwind has a great spreader drop right there. It is a little bit far and tries to go for the manual. Unfortunately, this little vibration right there from Mutoid Man will end that. We'll have to pick up those shoes, just trying to chase that next drop. Does get some lobbers, so some decent damage, but yeah, we got SpaceCo final form. A good lobber drop here. I don't know if the rockets will quite do it. Probably close here. Oh yeah, more than enough.
All right, good stuff to SpaceCo. Whoa.
We got some real volume coming through. Yeah, we're getting the game in stereo. Let's go, folks. All right, but yeah, sub 7 right there. You know, SpaceCo will take that as far as right. Ooh, that's a great spreader right there. Unfortunately, the continual hit for Starwind. But this is a chance right here. You get the good spreader. This PB is on the board for Starwind right here. You would love to see it if you could do it. Come on, Stars.
He does when catching his shield to adjust for its recoil. This doesn't imply that
No, the laser on that one, and that might do it right there. Still needs to have popped ahead. I was hoping that spreader, you get the good damage right there. That would have been close.
Yep.
But of course, congratulations to SpaceCo. going to be moving on in that lower bracket into round 2 to face off again against the winner of a Heffa Man versus ET Go Ham matchup. That should be a phenomenal one, no matter how that one shakes out. Looking forward to that. Another elimination game, and this is always interesting. I will say we've seen this actually already from SpaceCo before. SpaceCo has made the ability to make some really good lower bracket runs. Last year, actually had quite a bracket. Let me take a look real quick. Yeah, SpaceCo and me actually end up facing off in the first round. I end up taking that set, but then SpaceCo goes on a run of taking down sets against Dildar, Lucha Gym, and Firebroth in that lower bracket. So SpaceCo, every ability to make a real run here in that lower bracket. Going to be looking forward to that. And actually, you know what? Took down Hefe Man too.